Starting us off this top hour, the verification process for one ballot measure hoping to make November's ballot is at a standstill. Thank you for choosing us for your Election Central. I'm Jurnee Taylor. Yesterday, we received word from the Arkansas Secretary of State deeming the high-profile abortion amendment ineligible for consideration. Multiple groups worked to collect the required 91,000 signatures, which would allow voters to decide on key issues. The people behind the push to reverse the state's abortion ban, Arkansas for Limited Government, submitted over 100,000 signatures by Friday's deadline. But as of today, the Secretary of State issued a letter saying the group did not have proper documentation regarding paid and non-paid volunteers. Now, with the measure now thrown out, Arkansas Attorney General Tim Griffin released a statement saying in part, quote, "Changing the Arkansas Constitution involves a rigorous process, as it should." He goes on to say, in this instance, the sponsors failed to follow the law, end quote. Those words leaving some amendment organizers furious and ready to fire back.
The irony that the state would potentially be disenfranchising over 101,000 Arkansas voters because of something they consider, binding enough to disqualify us from the ballot is really upsetting.
As you just heard, the group Arkansas for Limited Government is planning to take swift legal action with hopes of turning things around.
We're going to fight for this because we believe firmly that this should be on the ballot. We believe firmly that we've acted in good faith every step of the way and that we've done what's been asked of us from the Secretary of State's office. And not just our volunteers, but the signers to this amendment, they deserve to be heard.
And as those efforts start to unravel, as it stands right now, abortion will not be placed on the November ballot. Well, parts of Arkansas may still be feeling the shock of Storm Beryl, but we're seeing a different type of impact on the forecast. Hey there, Tracy, what are you tracking for us?
Happy Thursday to you. We have a beautiful Thursday ahead. The dew points, they are manageable, and I want to put it in perspective. They are manageable. It is certainly hot out there. We have 89 in Central Arkansas, 90 in Pine Bluff, and 87 in Russellville. But what does it feel like? Well, with those heat index values here in Central Arkansas, 95, feeling like 95 in Pine Bluff as well, and 93 in Hot Springs. Now, when I talk about those dew points staying manageable, that keeps it feeling a-okay out there, and they're in the lower 70s, so it's making things tolerable. But by tomorrow, those dew points are going to start to rise, and it's going to actually start to feel like summer in July in Arkansas. And you guys know exactly what I mean by that. It's going to get a little hot out there, but good news is it's still going to have a couple of days here where things aren't just terrible, but we're looking by Monday to be hot again. And by the afternoon, it's going to feel 105 to 110. So let's enjoy these few days where the heat, like I said, it's not terrible, but it is hot out there, and we'll have a good time as we head into the weekend with plenty of sunshine.
All right, Tracy, thank you. Well, people are still feeling the impacts of what's left from Storm Beryl's wrath. As folks begin the next phase of recovery, insurance is now joining the conversation. For one woman, the week has been full of cleaning up water damage. As heavy rain moved in, it wasn't long before water from outside started rushing into her home. Now, as she spends time ripping out her carpet, she says it's starting to take a toll.
It's been a lot. So yeah, just trying to get things semi-normal so I can get back to work and do what I need to do.
And that same frustration is being felt by insurance companies who tell us their phones are ringing off the hook with people needing urgent repairs.
All the inclement weather has really caused a lot of damage to homes and increased number of claims, therefore increasing rates to help pay for those claims.
Insurance experts are warning people to prepare as rates go up to cover the uptick in claims. They add, the best thing for you to do now is to review your policies. With just a few weeks left in summer vacation, this afternoon we're hearing of new enforcements for people looking to spend the remainder of that time on the water. While the holiday weekend did not have any fatal boating accidents, over 20 people were arrested for being intoxicated while boating. Now, Arkansas Game and Fish Commission is reminding you that a fun trip can turn horrible in the blink of an eye. And to avoid that, you need to avoid drinking before you decide to be captain.
If for some reason you can't keep the party on the shore, have a designated driver operating that boat. Have a sober driver on that boat so you can still have fun and be safe.
The Game and Fish Commission says their efforts to crack down on boating under the influence will last throughout the summer. This afternoon, we're learning former U.S. Congressman Tommy Robinson has died at the age of 82 years old. Reports indicate natural causes as the reasoning behind the tragic news. Robinson's career took off during his time as the Pulaski County Sheriff in the 80s. There, he tackled jail overcrowding and handled a number of high-profile cases before later being elected to Congress representing the state of Arkansas. Now, this afternoon, Governor Sanders is speaking on the congressman's legacy, saying in part, quote, while his methods were sometimes unconventional, they won him admiration from voters to earn a seat in Congress, and adds he was never afraid of a fight, end quote. Well, we're just a little over an hour away from the city of Little Rock unveiling a brand new teen center. The facility can be found in the Walnut Valley community area and is the first ever community-based youth recovery program in the state. The goal aims to support teenagers struggling through substance abuse and help them make positive choices going forward. In addition, the new place offers academic support on top of mental health resources. If you know someone who could benefit, the website is right now on our screen, or your screen here. Just take a picture of that. Today's ribbon cutting, it starts around 1:30, and we'll have video from the ceremony tonight at 5 and 6. This afternoon, we're getting a first look at a brand new fire station going up in North Little Rock. The city released this rendering of 9,500 square foot fire station 11. We don't have that video showing at this exact time, but we've learned construction is ahead of schedule and could be done in just a few months. Now, some bittersweet news for Hog fans as a well-known staple prepares to close its doors. Hogman's Game Day Superstore is shutting down after decades of being in business. We're hearing from store owners who say it's because they received a major offer.
So we have had these stores for 15 years. Before we had these stores, the Hog Pen was actually at this location. So this is kind of the iconic Razorback store that everyone knows of in the state of Arkansas, especially Central Arkansas. So this store has been here for about 30, how long, Regina? 41 years.
The store in Northwest Arkansas will remain open under a new name. As for now, you can enjoy sweet discounts as the shop works to clean house. President Biden will give his first solo press conference as he wraps up the NATO summit in Washington. Natalie Brand has more, as some Democrats still can't seem to let go of how Biden held up during the first debate.
President Biden has back-to-back meetings with foreign allies as the 75th anniversary NATO summit concludes today in Washington, D.C. Tonight, his first solo press conference since last November will be scrutinized amid growing calls from Capitol Hill to now Hollywood for him to bow out of the presidential race. Vermont's Peter Welch became the first Democratic senator to call on the president to withdraw. Others have signaled they're worried about November.
I've talked to people across Ohio. They have legitimate questions about whether the president should continue his campaign.
3 top Biden advisors are heading to the Hill today to try and reassure Senate Democrats, and CBS News has learned that House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries plans to convey the concerns of his members directly to the president.
We're continuing to have conversations with each other, and those have been candid, comprehensive, and clear-eyed.
Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi warned Wednesday that time is running short.
The decision is the president's.
2 senior Democrats also tell CBS News that there's concern donations could dry up. But despite the uncertainty, the president and his closest allies say he remains committed to staying in the race, arguing he's the best shot at beating former President Trump. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Summer is in full swing, but some folks may be confused on the lifespan of sunscreen. We verify if it comes with an expiration date in 7 minutes.
Well, it's summer in July, and those temperatures, well, they're not too bad, but the dew points have been remaining fairly low. But by the weekend, they're going to rise on up there, as well as the temperatures, and I'll let you know what to expect coming up in just a few minutes.